check the seals on the hydrants. I remember you said that they're no longer flushing, for lack of a better term. I'm not familiar with the terminology you used, but for the hydrants.
Okay.
And you were going to check for physical damage on some of the hydrants.
Yeah,
in town.
that's something that's typically done annually,
Mhm.
so,
And the last time it was done was,
I don't know, do you happen to have that data on you by hand?
Not on hand. The last time would be recorded at the firehouse, so I can get that information.
We'll have that for you for the next meeting.
so who's the new person? Don't we have a new person?
Yeah, well, Captain Dunning, he's, been assigned here for about a month now,
Okay.
and firefighter Knighton, you've
Been here for about a year.
about a year.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You've been in the house in a while.
Did we say we weren't getting a sheriff's update? Oh,
So
okay.
they have actually a call log copy in their reports, unless you guys have any questions.
Yeah, we just never got a report back on the child with a gun and the text
Oh,
message threats
that-
to the school. Yeah, it was like a few months ago, right, October?
Yeah, it was to be no determined it is an issue with the school, it was a separate issue, that kid was eliminated from there and no longer an issue, so. We've been working closely with the school, so there's no issues. You guys have any questions?
Any questions? You're a pretty comprehensive report.
Yeah, we had 83 incidents this last month, probably 5, case numbers, mostly extra patrol or traffic stops within the area, so, other than that, nothing really to report.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We like quiet. Thank you.
They're probably us too.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that Mr. Bob, are you all right?
Okay, not too much to report. Planning applications, the month of January was pretty quiet. There were 2 fence permit applications noted in your staff report. The building permit activities also in your staff report, pretty status quo for the year. I wanted to report that the pre-permitted accessory dwelling unit plans are now loaded on the city's website, available to the public. And we made mention of this project last year in the spring, and that was part of the REAP grant that we would do this. It's a similar project that other jurisdictions are doing up and down the state, where they're providing the availability to the public of these pre-permitted ADU plans. So those 3 plans are on the city's website, and pre-permitted means they typically have a master plan permit number assigned to them, which is what these have. So they've been through the plan check process, the initial structural calcs and all this stuff. They should, if somebody wanted to take advantage of one of these plans, you start by contacting me. We look at a site plan, which is pretty much all the authority I have on it. So I check it for compliance with setbacks and height and things like that, which again they're a little site specific, so I have to look at those. And then, like any site plan review that I approve, when I send out the approval letter, I copy the county building department, and that kind of lets them know that there's one in process. And from there, the applicant will apply for a building permit at the county. You can all take, an applicant can also contact the architect in Chico, and they can hire them to help them through the permit process. It should cut down on about 30%. They didn't give me a hard number because each project is going to be site specific, but it should cut down on about 30% of time and in cost at the upfront. If somebody wanted to do that, there are no ADUs in Biggs at this time, no permitted ones. So anyway, it's a great project to take advantage of, and I'm welcome to the council to take a look at that link on the city's website and peruse those.
Any questions for Bob from the council?
What size are these?
They're,
Basically,
let's see if I can note it here. They're, the 1 bedroom is 496 square feet, the 2 bedroom is 749, and not sure.
Well, it's on there, she can vote.
Yeah, and then the next one's $5.99.
The square footage for the lot, is there a minimum?
For a zoning district, there is.
Okay,
Yeah.
depending on the size of the ADU.
No, you can put an ADU on any, pretty much any lot. That's part of the site plan review application. All I would do is check it for, what's called lot coverage, which is a percentage of structural coverage, you know, over the lot, so most lots in Diggs can accommodate one of these things.
Thank you.
Any public comment for Bob? Hearing none. Thank you, Bob.
Welcome.
Mr. David, you're up. Discussion action item, contract award for construction management.
Yeah, hi Mayor, Council. This is one more step in the long-awaited Second Street improvements. We have before you the recommendation to hire Gannett Fleming to manage the construction. This will be paid for through the STIP part, the state grant for the project. We have federal funds that are paying for construction, and then we have the STIP funding, which can be paid for construction or construction management. So this is a 100% reimbursable cost to the city for this effort. And we did solicit, we went out for request for proposal. We got 2 proposals, Gannett Fleming and Unico. Though we haven't worked directly with Gannett Fleming before, we have worked with the people at Gannett Fleming. They used to be Flaherty Engineering, Construction Management, and so they have experience on Second Street, in Biggs. They're familiar with Paul, and so they were the selected proposer. There is the evaluation sheets that we had an evaluation committee go through per the requirements for the grant, and we had to go through this process. So those scoring sheets are included in your staff report, and so just to provide that transparency of how we came about hiring Gannett Fleming. So this time we're just if you guys have any questions, otherwise we're looking for your approval to award.
Any questions for Dave from the council?
I have a question. Mr. Wagner. There was a pause on some federal grant funding. Is that have anything to do with what we have already approved?
Council member, the report that I received, and I think it was through your office, is that these grant fundings will not be interrupted by that particular action.
Thank you.
Any other questions? The microphone, please.
I think it is, yeah, there it is. Now, these guys are gonna be the engineers overseeing the project, making sure everything's built right.
Yeah, so there'll be inspectors there watching the contractor put the pipe in the ground and pour the concrete and all that stuff.
Do you have one of your staff basically watching over them going out there too?
Correct.
So you have hands-on?
Yes, yeah, so we have that oversight, we call it engineering support during construction. We have the background knowledge, we assisted with the plans. They were actually designed by a previous firm and then this was a piece of the project that we didn't have funding for, so we've moved it along to get to this point. So yeah, I was just out there with Paul today, we were looking at some drainage, so we'll be very hands-on through the process, and provide that oversight for the city.
I know it's gonna be a lot of school traffic coming back and forth, and they're working on that road, so.
Yeah, well, luckily the other side of the street's already done. It already has sidewalks, even though the kids don't like to walk on it for whatever reason. So there will still be some traffic. I don't expect this project to take very long, but you bring up a good point. We do have some time to get it done, so we may coordinate with the contractor. I think he was looking to start in spring, but because it's such a small project, we could potentially push it off this summer and avoid a lot of that school traffic. So I'll bring that up as we're coordinating those start dates. Could be something that could be beneficial to the community and to the contractor.
I'm excited to see this get done. It's been, what, at least 10 years ago, I think, when I was originally talking about it on the city council.
Yeah, I think somebody else brought it, that it's been talked about for like 40 years, so, it's been a long time coming, and, it's nice that we've got funding to cover it.
I would not like to see it pushed off to the summer. I would like to get right on it, get going in the spring.
Yeah, it's really up to, the contractor at this point. We gave them that flexibility. It helped us keep the cost low, but, also because it is a drainage canal that collects drainage from town and all that, we're trying to, avoid the wet weather, so, otherwise it creates delays, it creates problems with, setting the pipes and all that kind of stuff. We didn't account for bypass pumping of that facility, so it will be weather driven. So not, probably not this month, that's for sure.
Any other questions today from the council? Any public comment?
So would we notify or request certified payroll from this project managing firm to make sure they're paying certified state payroll?
Yeah,
Prevailing wages?
prevailing wage is required.
Because they're like a GC per se, because you guys are the city project or a state project?
Yeah, anything with public funds, especially these, when you have state and federal funds, they're, they require those audits. So they will have their own project number with the Department of Industrial Relations, and they will have to.
That's who you make the request for certified payrolls to them directly, right?
Yeah, they're the agency that dictates prevailing wage.